The Screen Team is back on today's Talk 930 KWOC 93.3 FM. The show is being brought to you by Whitworth Gift Chest Jewelers, where Walmart is next door to us, also Poplar, Bluff Drywall, and Fearless Social. Remember, you can check out the Screen Team on our official site at screenteampb.com. You can check out all our reviews on there. You can check out links to all of our social media sites, and you can meet all the reviewers. You can meet Toby, you can meet Tanika, you can see what kind of movies they like and don't like. So it's all at screenteampb.com. Our next film is called The Lake House. It stars Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Toby, you picked this one. Was this a film that you got to see in theaters, or was this a film?
No, these all I discovered late nights usually on television. But this was one I wish I had seen at the theater, because I'm sure, you get into the commercials, you lose a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I had not seen those two together, Keanu Reeves or Sandra Bullock, together since Speed.
Right.
So it was kind of neat to see them in a different role. And this one kind of grabbed me. I loved how they it wasn't some time travel. We go into the 1800s, the 1700s.
Right.
This, we're talking 2 years.
Yeah.
And just how things could change in somebody's lives for just a couple of years at a time. And it was just interesting how little intricacies that they did with this, with the mailbox, with the flag going up and down.
That's how they communicate.
That's how
right?
they communicated. That's how they
Right.
sent their letters back and forth. The dog paws, and the dog that was in both of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just an interesting twist to the romantic comedy.
Tanika, do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I did see it in theaters because I read the book.
Oh, you
and
read the book.
Actually,
Oh, so it's based
the
on a book.
movie, the movie is actually better than what the book was, because the book was a little confusing. But yeah,
It was a remake of a South Korean picture, too. I didn't realize that.
I didn't either.
I read the Wikipedia on it, that they originally did it in South Korea in 2000. This one, of course, came out in 2006. But some of the same folks were involved in the screenwriting for the American version.
That's cool. This film, along with Keanu and Sandra, also has Christopher Plummer, which we'll talk more about him in the next segment as
Right.
well. But he plays Keanu's dad, and Keanu Reeves and his dad, they're both, architects?
Architects. They work for an architecture firm.
Yeah. And I guess Keanu's dad is the one who created the lake house.
He did. He built it for Keanu's mother. And you kind of get a little backstory there. I take it things didn't work out with his parents. You never know specifically what happened, but you get the idea that they split up, or the mother died or something, and the lake house never completely got finished.
So how do these two find out that they're in two separate times? Obviously, they're writing to each other, but I could write to you, Tanika, and be like, "Hey, I'm from 1985. What's up?" I mean, the movie takes a while for him to kind of realize that, oh my goodness, this is for real.
I think what she said about the paw prints, when they finally figured out, because certain things that she would mention about the house, it didn't happen, and it was just.
I think it started that Sandra Bullock's character, she's a doctor. I think her name was Kate, right?
Yeah.
She is moving away. She had lived in the lake house, and she's leaving a letter for the next tenants to forward her mail. If you should, find this. This is the address I'm going to be. And by the way, those paw prints on the sidewalk, they were there when I got here.
Yeah.
Well, the next scene you come to is Alex, which is Keanu Reeves' character. He's moving in, and the paw prints aren't there. So he's thinking, that's odd.
Yeah.
And then he goes to do some renovations on the house. They go to work on the sidewalk, and this dog comes across and runs across exactly where she said those paw prints should have been.
Right.
So
Because she's in the future and he's
she's in the
past.
future. It hasn't happened yet. And that's when he sends the letter to this address saying, how did you know, blah, blah, blah. And the correspondence starts.
Yeah.
And as it goes through, you realize she's living 2 years ahead of what he is, because things have happened to her that haven't happened to him yet.
Yeah.
And there's even a couple of scenes they end up meeting, but she doesn't know that that's Alex.
But he does know.
But he does know.
Yes.
Man.
So it takes a little bit to get your mind wrapped around exactly what's going on here, because she is involved with somebody else at this point. So he doesn't know whether to step in. But then again, she has, is it a dream, or how did that go? Where she saves him in an accident. This man comes in, he's had an accident. She's a doctor, but she can't save him. And eventually, through the letter, she figures out that was the guy that she couldn't save.
Well, she was at the park when the bus hit.
Right.
and then she took off running, and then she went to go to the hospital where he was going, and then that's where she saw him.
Okay, that's where, but she could not save him.
Yes.
And then
so many twists and turns
in
this film.
I don't want to give any spoilers.
I know, but it's hard to explain.
It does have a happy ending, though, and that's something with me with a romantic comedy.
The science behind it, don't get me started.
I don't even want to go there.
It's just romance.
With a romantic comedy, I personally, I have to have a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my thing. If they tell me it's got a sad ending, forget it. I don't want to go. I don't want to see it. I don't want to go there. No, there's enough of sad endings in reality. That's not why I go to the movies. That's not what I want. I want a happy ending.
It's a place for escape.
It's escape, and I want my happy ending. Thank you. So if I come up without one, you're going to hear somebody screaming and kicking and carrying on. But
I really enjoyed those scenes where Keanu Reeves meets Sandra Bullock's character in the middle of the film, and he knows who she is, but she doesn't know who he is. It's one of those things where you're like, okay, this is the love of my life, but I can't tell you.
You can't tell you. And
this,
you want to say, kiss her.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing about it is everybody thinks like you look at Kate and Leopold and you look at all the other romantic ones where they're together. Mm-hmm. Well, this movie, they're playing separate.
That's a good point.
They have to go through and they have to read the script, not knowing, the other person. So it's very strange, too, how they have to act and how they develop as an actor with their characters just to do that, because they're not face-to-face with each other during those scenes.
And you know what else I thought was so romantic about it, too, is the writing in letters. In this electronic age, we don't have love letters anymore. And they sat and they wrote beautiful letters about each other's lives, what was going on, without getting mushy or anything, but just intertwining and bringing that romance together and falling in love through those letters without ever actually, quote, meeting. I love that. That's what romance is all about.
Yeah, I do that with Sabrina through text.
Not the same thing.
What's up, baby?
It is not the same thing. No. LOL is not ever going to be used in a love letter.
Let's hope not. All right.
Smiley face with a kiss lips.
Right.
Yes.
The movie is called The Lake House. It stars Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Coming up after the break, we're going to review a movie called Somewhere in Time. It's next on Today's Talk, 930 KWOC.